last week, obviously Elon took a break from, destroying the federal government and was on stage at CPAC. I'm not sure what time of day, but like very hungover guy continues the party till like 10 a.m.
I mean, like the dark glasses situation is a dead giveaway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of all the things that he said, of all the ridiculous things he said, this one was the one that I missed and yet is probably my favorite part of his incredibly cringy experience. His talk at it is an experience. His talk at CPAC. Take a look.
So, I mean, we're trying to get good things done, but also have a good time doing it, and and have like a sense of humor, So, I mean, the sort of the left wanted to make comedy illegal, Like you can't make fun of anything. So then it was like, comedy sucks. It's like, nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like, legalize comedy. Yeah.
There's something so bone-chilling about like the vague clinking of his various chains, which really does feel like a time portal back to like the early 2000s of like, are these like white guys really back to wearing large chains?
Yeah.
Like it's absurd. Yeah,
no, it is that ham-fisted appropriation of Black culture, which they simultaneously hate.
Yes.
But also, no, I can rap. I think I'm funny. So he had already been given the chainsaw because it's right at his feet. So that moment had passed. But the like legalized comedy. Yeah. Now, I'm convinced now, and I don't know what you think, but not to be generational hating, but I do think, and given how they voted in this last election, and given the name of Elon's new platform, I mean, the platform that he stole and whatever, renamed, I do think this screams Gen X. The Gen X of it all, and how much Gen X was so, and specifically, obviously, cis straight white men with, like loafers and a boat, class privilege, who like no one's laughing at their barbecue joke anymore, or like couldn't do that to their one colleague and had to get like called into HR that one time and then never forgot about it. Like that they lap this kind of backlash up, right? It's like jokes are canceled and pronouns, and Elon is if nothing else, he's a billionaire, but he really embodies that sort of like the world might have moved on from talking about me and my generation.
Yeah, I mean, it also like even the way he's saying this, it feels very dated. The way that he's giving a lot of mid 2010s talking points with like, you can't even tell a joke. Like even Jerry Seinfeld has moved on to aggressive Zionism. Like he's not saying we can't tell jokes on college campuses anymore. Like it's very dated. It's very bizarre, and it's like, it really is like, if, he has the same upbringing and attitude of Chet Hanks, but like,
yes.
It's like if we put Chet Hanks in charge of things, but he had an even more severe ego problem.
I forgot I forgot whether we uncanceled or recanceled Chet Hanks if he's cool. If he's cool again.
Kind of in the viscous goo of let's see what he does next.
Yeah, totally. No, but obviously, again, what I'm saying is like, you have a whole fascist takeover because you think the left wanted to cancel jokes. Meanwhile, Gervais, with all his anti-trans BS, Dave Chappelle had like a 7-part series of transphobia that Netflix banked on time and time again. In no world has any comedian actually gotten canceled other than the actual Predators, and even their booking
and even
clubs.
they're fine. They're fine. I mean, and unfortunately, like, while Elon is Gen X, like this will come for us all at some point. This will come for everyone's generation. I've noticed that with Gen Z recently, where, like with 5 ish years ago, the press around Gen Z was very much like, these kids are going to save the world in spite of the fact that we have stacked the odds against them. And now it's like Gen Z has voted in Trump. Like there is always going to be these press turnarounds, and it's always going to be the people in the 1% of whichever generation. And like,
Sure,
Elon
it's all
is
the
like
right.
the Gen X flavor of that. Like he's
No, it's
the Gen
true.
X like peak example of it.
Right. It's definitely class. And I'm not meaning to lump, but I guess what I'm saying is like that
Oh
fragility
boy.
of like, oh, the world moved on and I can't tell my jokes no more. And here's my
Right.
question to you. This is why I wanted to bring it up, is because I've been thinking a lot about, we all know, yes, no comedian was ever actually canceled for saying these jokes on stage.
Mhm.
Even Ye, or I mean, Ye's not a comic, but you know what I'm saying?
He
Basically,
had a Super Bowl commercial. Like,
he had
how
a
canceled
s-
could you possibly be?
he had a Super Bowl commercial. So like sent people to buy shirts with swastikas on it. But I think the reason that Elon Musk's billionaire midlife crisis and the sort of haranguing about comedy being and people being canceled and you can't joke about it anymore and yada 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 yada. And we all know, and as a stand-up, it's like, nah, man, a lot of the misogyny, a lot of the racism, it super flies. It depends on when, where, what your audience is, but also a lot of it just won't do well. It's just a matter of where you're telling your jokes and to whom. But the real thing for me about the internet buy, like the fact that he bought Twitter,
Mhm.
really speaks to this idea that you talk about a lot, which is like discourse. He's mad because ultimately Netflix didn't cancel him. Nobody else cancels comics. Like, nobody canceled any problematic or racist or sexist any comic, but the discourse does can't call it cancel people. And the fact
Yeah.
that they can't buy discourse, or that they can't win in the discourse, or that as much as Elon tries to be loved, he's despised and he looks cringier every single appearance, like that I think is what bothers them the most.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know what the answer to that is. It's like it's clear, at least even as like a spectator, that Elon wants more than anything for the world to love him. He can buy power, and ostensibly he has bought power, but
Exactly.
everyone still fucking hates him. So he's never going to have what he wants. And the fear I know that like everyone has is that this like very, very fragile man is going to lash out at everyone who doesn't like him
Mm-hmm.
because he's a fucking loser, because all the money in the world couldn't buy him being liked.
Yes.
And so what do you do with that? What do you do with that person? You
Well,
kind of
and
want to get
Trump is
Luigi on
really
the horn.
similar. So you what?
You kind of want to get Luigi on the horn in that situation.
The Luigi signal.
Yeah.
I mean, the Luigi, the Luigi moment has really jumped the shark when, like, the Daily Show, like Jon Stewart, who is he's not the least edgiest person, but even they were like made a Mangione joke last night, like spelling it out.
Really?
Spelled out
That's
Mangione. And we're
fun.
like, no, just kidding.
It's the new on Minecraft. Yeah, like there's
I don't know
yeah, I
what
mean
that is. Yeah, I don't know.
Grimes followed Luigi Nation. So, it's just something to think about.
Well, and I mean, so that's my thing, is just like, I think the reality is, because the internet isn't, but in some aspects can be an equalizer, and there can be, if you've got if people don't like Madam Web or whatever, they're going to talk about it. Or if people love a
Right.
show or they hate a thing, they're going to talk about it. And the fact that you can't own or squelch out whether or not people think you're funny or smart or anything like that, it's like truly bothers them. And so the idea that like, let's bring comedy back. Oh, like it's
Like, who
this is all that
even
backlash.
right? I mean, and it's like there's not even I don't think a meaningful movement behind that. It just feels so dated and bizarre to still be kind of pulling out these like late 2010s attempts to justify being awful. It's like even the people who are awful have found new outlets at this
Right.
point. Like even they are not, saying that comedy is being canceled anymore.
Exactly. No, it's true.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already,
subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuationroom. Do